Hello and welcome to the Parent Academy channel. My name is Ritika Subhash. I am the founder of the Parent Academy and the host of the Parenting Truth and Dare podcast. I welcome you to this new episode where we are talking about the National Education Day. It's celebrated on 11th of November in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of independent India's first education minister, Mr. Abul Kalam. So, on this day, it's important to not just talk about education in the context of what happens in schools, but learning in general. And learning does not stop in schools. Learning is something that goes on throughout our life. And as parents, it is our responsibility to give the right learning ecosystem to our children at homes so that they're not just memorizing information and regurgitating it in exam, but they're actually learning things that stay with them, that add value to their life, and that help them add value to the society going forward. So that's about building a good learning ecosystem at home. Why is it important? It's important because again, schools should not be the sole response. It should not be the sole responsibility of schools to encourage lifelong learning in our children. Children spend a majority of the time at school, yes, that's true, but they also spend a good amount of time at home with their parents, with their extended family. And that ecosystem also must support lifelong learning, and the right environment should be provided so that learning stays with them and the willingness to learn also stays with them. So, today I'm going to give you a very simple model, very easy to remember. It's called the RRR model. Now, hard to forget, right? There was a recent movie by the same name. So, we are going to remember this RRR model and see how we can implement this in our lives to give the right ecosystem of learning to our children. So, the first R stands for reading. Yes, we all as parents feel that our children should be reading, and every time we see them doing something, we tell them, "Oh, why are you wasting your time? Go read something, go study something." But do our children see us reading anytime? If you spend most of your day doom scrolling on your phone, you spend hours on social media, but your child has never seen you flipping the pages of a book. They've never experienced discussing a book with you after you've read it, or they've never seen you engrossed in characters or stories or spiritual texts or any other kind of text that you align with. So, how will they look up to you and really want to follow what you're saying and become a reader? So, reading has a lot of benefits, right? You end up developing good language skills, communication skills, also building empathy. A lot of life skills can get built if you really bring reading into your day to day life. But it should not happen in a way where you're simply telling your children to read. You should make a routine where you're sitting with them, maybe 10-15 minutes before your bedtime, and all of you are reading together in the same space. You're not encroaching upon anybody's time. You're all your own books and own zone, but you are doing this activity together as a family. So not only do you build the right environment for reading, but you also use this. You can use this as a great bonding activity with your children as well. The second R, which again a lot of people don't think from the learning perspective, is recreation. Yes, we tell our children to go downstairs and play, or find friends and go for cycling or walk, but do we ever join them in that recreational activity? The importance of spending time with your children doing any recreational activity that both of you enjoy. It could be a round of badminton or squash, it could just be a stroll in the park, it could be cycling together. That kind of memory remains with children for a very long time. But not just that, not just the bond building activity, but in terms of learning, research has shown that when children are in the outdoors and when they are involved in any sporting or recreational activity, after that, when they come to a study environment where they're doing their home assignments or whatever, they are in a much better position to assimilate information and to also understand. So their critical thinking skills are better, and also their long-term memory, that potentiation that happens, information going from working memory to long-term memory, is also better over a period of time. So you're giving the right kind of environment if you encourage recreation for your child, but also involve yourself, because it should not be something that stops with them, right? I mean, if we stop being active or outdoors in our childhood, that is going to lead to a lot of health problems even for you as parents. So showing them the importance of recreation is only possible if you are involving yourself in it as actively as you expect them to involve themselves. So that's the second R. The third R, many of you would not think of this in context of learning and education, but it is probably the most important, which is rest. Yes. Rest is a very important component of memory building, of building the right neural pathways to take information from your working memory to your long-term memory. Rest is also the time, or sleep is also the time, when a lot of pruning happens in your brain. So a lot of irrelevant information that you don't need, also gets pruned over a period of time. So you need that relaxation and repair time for your entire body, for your entire brain to function at its most optimal level. In fact, even for human growth, the human growth hormone HGH gets released during sleep. So if you compromise on healthy sleep patterns or healthy sleep habits, you are not just compromising on the physical growth aspect of your child, but also the brain growth. So in order to have both of them function optimally, please make a good rest routine for you and your family, which involves sleeping on a certain time every day repeatedly. It also involves having a good relaxing sleep time routine, which is not involving screens or blue light. And all of those things will cumulatively add up. You may not see change immediately on day one, but if you are able to consistently do this for 1 month, 2 months, you will really see that your entire environment of the house really transforms, and it will support good learning for life for your children. Now, many parents would feel that while we're talking about the National Education Day, why not talk about studies? The reason I'm not talking about studies is, as parents, I'm sure all of you are already focusing on it enough. What you don't focus on is RRR: reading, recreation, and rest. So, the purpose of this video is to get you engaged and involved in imbibing these concepts of reading, recreation, and rest, so that you can give them equal, if not more, importance in the learning journey of your child. However, for studies as well, I'm going to give you 2 tips that you can follow, or you can coach your children to follow, so that you will be able to see some benefits and almost immediate changes in the way that they learn and they remember things. So the first is time chunking. So what does time chunking mean? Essentially, it means that on a macro level, you're breaking down your day into big chunks, maybe 3 or 4 chunks, and you know that this part of my day is reserved for this particular activity. So let's say from 3 to 5 is my chunk to be studying mathematics. Then from 5:30 to 6:30 is my chunk for going out and playing. Then 7 to 8 could be my chunk for doing any other subject. So time chunking has actually proven to get a lot of alignment amongst even adults and children, so that they know that yes, I'm required to do this thing at this time, so let me just get to it and finish it off. It's also a way to organize and build your timetable for the day. The second way which you can use to do a lot of micro level planning is called the pomodoro technique. I'm sure many of you must have heard it, but essentially what it means is you divide any task in 3 major sections. Every section is a 20-minute section. So you work on an activity consistently for 20 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break. Then again you come back to it for 20 minutes and a 5-minute break, and then again 20 and 5, which means that roughly in those 3 20-minute chunks, you should be able to get through or power through a lot of that activity. And then it gives you rest as well. So rest is for your relaxation, for your downtime, then almost like a reward for working consistently for 20 minutes. Now when you start, it may seem like too much. My recommendation is you start following pomodoro technique and see if it's effective for you. You might struggle with it. 20 minutes might seem a lot, but get started with it. These are proven techniques and they will definitely help you learn better and then your children can emulate that. So I hope this was valuable to you. We talked about the National Education Day, we talked about RRR, we talked about time chunking and Pomodoro technique, and all of this together sort of helps build a very good learning ecosystem at home, even for you. So this is my mission, to help parents become the best version of themselves so you can really show up as the best parent that you can. I hope this was valuable, and I'll see you around in the next video.